The Podcasting Dead is available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Make sure to subscribe for more podcasts. And while you're at it, drop us a like. If you want to help support the channel and have access to extra content, secret contests, and more, make sure to search for us on Patreon. Patreon.com/thepodcastingdead.
Mail call Thursday.
Mail call. I like it. I like talking to people, man. I don't really like talking to people, but I like talking to the people on the YouTube page who like to talk to us.
You know who you sounded just like when you said that? Mitch Hedberg. That was very Mitch Hedberg delivery.
Nah, I don't know about that.
Very much a Mitch Hedberg type delivery.
Man, my ankle be itching. What are we doing
Scratch
today?
that mofo. Yeah. I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And we're going to be answering your questions that you left on our mail call video. So we're going to get that started right now with our good pal, Jeep.
Jeep.
We didn't have time because this week's been crazy busy, and I'm going to the beach next week, so I didn't have time to print out all of the questions, put them in a bowl, and we draw them the way we normally do. So we're just reading them off of our phone and the laptop. So
verbatim, yeah, man.
Just going in order here.
Jeep.
Jeep says, and with Brianne's got so many, we'll just alternate asking her questions.
All right.
Brianne is right. Ask those questions, people. Mail call is my favorite time of the week. Well, Jeep, that's awesome. I like the Barn of Pleasures parodies, too. Hilarious. Well, good. Hopefully you got to hear this week's Barn of Pleasures, Jeep. It was very special. It featured a role-playing Jerry who was dressed up as a tiger to please King Ezekiel. Was it this week that Dale got kicked out of the Barn of Pleasures?
Maybe,
That was last week, I think. That was last week's mail call, I think, because we were asked Dale who would go in the Barn of Pleasures. Dale, what happened? What else happened? Something else happened aside from Jerry wearing a tiger get up to please King Ezekiel. But yeah, the Barn of Pleasures was a fun place to be this week as well. Let's see. Be glad you got away from working at the big cat that sells food, JP. I can see that it just sucked the life out of the manager at my store. Mail call. Where do you see yourself in 20 years?
Oh, boy. Isn't that a crazy question, dog?
JP will probably be dead.
Yeah. I will probably.
I love you, brother, but JP will be tried some hallucinogenic from some stranger he doesn't know that's laced with something, and
or be lured into some proverbial barn of pleasures, only be murdered and my organs harvested. But no, I appreciate it, Jeep. I see. I mean, whether it's the grocery store, any job where you feel unfulfilled, it's gonna suck the soul right out of you. So. Yeah, I do appreciate that. And this man right here is a big reason why I got out of that place. So kudos to, Julius. He's here in spirit. You're
an ass, man. You're a fucking asshole.
Shout out to you, Julius.
Julius did not get JP in the radio. So, you know what? I might be able to get JP out of radio just as fast as I got him into it.
Nah, Julius got my back. But, 20 years, I mean... I don't even know.
I'd love to be doing radio like for Sirius XM, or I would love for this podcast to have gotten to the point where like JP and I have a world-renowned radio show on like Sirius XM or something, or just wherever people are. I mean, it could just be podcasts. It's fine. Just wherever people are getting their, talk show entertainment. And then, we get to travel the world, and, JP has his own things. I have my own things, but we still have the podcast, and that's a big
My biggest thing, I want to get out west. Okay, I want my blog to really take off and to get adapted into a novel that gets adapted into like a Netflix original series.
Well, let me ask you, when's the last time you posted to your blog?
2017-ish. So,
all right, then. So how is that going to happen if you're not posting? You need to post regularly.
I'm posting in my mind.
Okay, well, post on your laptop. That people can't read your mind, but guess what? They can read what you post on your laptop.
No, I want to take stand up more seriously, and Justin, start supporting me in that endeavor.
Start making me laugh, and I'll start supporting you.
Take me to where I need to go.
All right. So beyond that point, thank you so much, Jeep. JP, I'm going to read the next part from Brianne because it's not a question, I think. I'm just going to read the statement, then you can read her first question.
Okay.
Brianne says, "Hello guys, hope you have a great weekend and enjoy this week's mail call questions. I gotta say, I miss your other podcast that you used to do, the Trending Tuesday and so forth. We do too. It just really didn't get much traction. And then plus, too, to be honest, we were spreading ourselves too thin, man. I mean, like, considering we both have full-time jobs, doing 4 or 5 podcasts a week just gets a bit overwhelming at times. Yeah. Doing them, posting them, all of that.
That's true.
But, if our Patreon's not doing bad, maybe if we could start making a living doing this, then we'll do one every day. Well, at least Monday through Friday. Mm-hmm. Multiples a day if that was our main career. So she says, anywho, saddle up for the God. Oh, yeah, well, we did see the God awful finale of Fear. And I'm ready for The Walking Dead. JP, you want to read her first question?
All right. What was the last picture you took with your phone?
JP's going to act like for him it was probably something perverted, but it's probably like a picture of a comic or something.
No, well, if you're not counting screenshots, it was the kittens that live under my house.
Yeah, if we're not counting screenshots, the last picture I took was of this little hippo thing that shoots colored like lights and shapes onto the ceiling. Because my daughter, I took her to my parents' house, her grandparents' house last night, and she really seemed to like that. So I want to get her one for Christmas. So yeah, boring stuff. I took a picture of a hippo that puts stars on the ceiling. As far as interesting stuff, like really majority of my pictures here lately, there's some of my Dodge, mostly of my daughter. Charlie Daniels.
Yeah, that's a good one. We still got to get that one framed.
We do. My dog, my daughter. It's pretty much just all my daughter. But yeah, so my last one was a picture of a hippo that shoots stars out of his back.
Out of his back.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Like you turn it on, it makes music, and then it just shoots these, like, it's really cool. Yeah, They said they make a bunch of different ones, so I'm going to buy her one for Christmas. Her next question. Name all the reasons you've been pulled over by a cop. Brianne, we would be here all day.
Yeah, I mean, I got pulled over. Well, I've gotten a DUI, and I got a ticket for underage, like, drinking while I was driving, but that didn't make it a DUI. But I never get like pulled over for the drinking. It's because I've got a tail light out or I'm going a little too fast. I mean,
of course,
that's how they get you. And I did get pulled over once because he thought I was texting and driving when I was actually manipulating the music. And then I get out of the car at a busy gas station, and a pipe falls out of my shorts because I stuffed it in my underwear only to realize I wasn't wearing underwear, so it falls out right at his feet, and that was a whole thing.
Did you get a ticket for that, like paraphernalia?
Nah, man, he didn't give me a ticket for paraphernalia. I had a grinder in my center console, and it was one where you unscrew it, and you put your stash in the grinder, and it's just sitting on top. It's just like a black ball with Rasta colors on the inside. And they searched my truck and just didn't realize what it was. I guess they figured it was just a plastic ball or something. And so, I mean, they had me dead to rights. I was high as hell, too.
But why do you keep all that in your car? Were you going somewhere with it?
No, just back in the day, man. I mean, this has been years ago.
So
back
you
in
just
the day,
didn't care
I just rode around smoking all the time, just staying high and driving. I didn't care.
I've always been the more precautious type when it comes to stuff like that.
Right.
Like, I mean,
and ever since
I'll
then,
keep it like
I am too.
I keep my stash and kind of hidden, But
and the dumb thing is, man, I mean, most people who do that will smoke blunts. So if you get pulled over, you just flick it out the window like a cigarette.
Yep, that's what when I was in high school, that was the thing,
Yeah, and I was driving around with just a straight up like wooden pipe, like an old man pipe. I didn't I didn't care. But those days are behind me. I do my drugs in safe environments now, and I don't endanger other drivers. So
glad to see you mature.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, that's a sign of maturity, doing your drugs in a safer
I'm telling you, though, man, those vape pens, which I am wary of the tainted THC cartridges that are going around, but they are super convenient for smoking on the go.
Oh, no doubt. At my buddy's wedding, there was a guy from California that had one, and it's the most convenient, best thing ever.
Yeah, man. I really want to go to D.C. That's the closest place for us to go where it's legal.
Well, we were going to go hiking for your birthday in a few weeks, but now you're talking like maybe instead of hiking, you want to shoot up to D.C., so you just got to let me know.
Yeah.
Which, whatever. Brianne, my list goes on and on and on. I've gotten possession of alcohol under the age of 21. Everything from expired inspection sticker.
I've got that one.
Expired registration.
If you ever rolled through a stop sign, I've got that one.
You know what? Surprisingly, seriously, I had somebody go find my record years ago, and they said it was like 4 pages worth of stuff, but there's not one moving traffic violation.
Well, that's good.
Not one running a stop sign. Not even speeding. But, I mean, I used to get a lot for music and exhaust. I had a really loud exhaust on my car. And I wouldn't do it to neighborhood people. I was raised a little bit better than that. But, like, if I saw my buddy's car parked in a neighborhood and I knew he had a car alarm, I'd ride back by his car and just, boom, rev it up so that it would set his car alarm off. I got a lot of tickets for loud exhausts and loud music. I used to love the subwoofers, man. My favorite was I had 4 Alpine Type R12s in the trunk of a Civic. And I had, Dynamax all in the back so it didn't rattle that bad, man. It was so loud.
Yeah, man. One good thing with me is it's been so long since an actual infraction. The only thing on my driving record is getting caught with an expired inspection sticker.
Yeah. It's not...
You people who live in states where you don't have to get those, you don't know how good you've got it.
No kidding. I believe they just make up things wrong with your vehicle sometimes.
Yeah,
all right, your car is good for... Good to go. We had to replace the flux capacitor in it. That went bad a while back. In new state law, you got to have those current in order to get your inspection sticker. So it's $16 for the inspection sticker and $400 for the flux capacitor.
Right. It's crazy, man.
I love, as I'm not an expert on cars by any means, but I do know, quite a bit. I mean, for instance, I was test driving a Jeep last week, and I was like, I think your CV boots and dry rotted or something. I'm hearing some knocking on the driver's side. Lifted it up, and it was exactly what I said. So I know a little bit. So it's fun when you go to a car shop. Like before I go to get my oil change, for instance, there's one chain I won't say, but their name rhymes with Biffy Boob.
Okay.
They constantly are coming up with crap. I went in there one time, and before I went, I pulled my air filter out. And I, vacuumed it, everything, blew it off. It was fine. It was in good shape. Of course, they come around the corner. We were changing your oil, and your air filter is really, really clogged up, just grimy and messy. We already pulled it out. You want me to go ahead and throw another one in? And I'm like, well, that's odd, man. I mean, we might have a bigger problem because I just cleaned it before I brought it here. Can you bring it to me? Let me see it. We already started. I mean, really, they get to stuttering. We already started cleaning it off because if you didn't want a new one, it was going to have to be cleaned off anyway. So we'll just stick it back in there once we get done cleaning it. I mean, they make up stuff.
Yeah, they can be precocious.
Luckily, I found a shop down the road right here where actually I can see it from the front door that does us really good, really good. I mean,
Yeah, and it's like a national brand, too, which is.
I got an oil change and tire rotation for like under $40. It was fantastic. Anyways, sorry, went off on a tangent there. You asked the ticket one, right? The reasons pulled over by a cop. Did you? No, you asked the picture of the phone. I asked so it's yours. Yours is you're
my
doing.
turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever been in a car accident?
Yes, been in a couple.
I've backed into some stuff. I've never wrecked a car. Me and my mom, when I was a kid, got rear-ended really pretty doggone bad. But I've never been in a serious car accident. No.
I have, but I'm happy to say that none of them, knock on wood, because I'm not the best driver in the world either. But fortunately, none of them have been my fault. I had a woman last summer. I was going 50 miles an hour down a road. She shot across the road and wasn't, that's why I hate when you see people do that. Just let me go by. And then I slammed into her because it was either that or swerve off the road. I was like, the hell with that. So, I always try to do whenever I find myself in a bad situation, unless, of course, it would be something like you're about to run over a kid. I try my damnedest to just take the option that doesn't involve swerving. I always feel like that leads to way worse accidents. But so I hit her. I was driving with a friend. Actually, it's funny. Our good pal, we call him Stoney.
Yeah.
It was myself, my buddy Joey, and my buddy Jeremy who were riding these back roads, and it was a bunch of driveways, and all of a sudden, just out of nowhere from a driveway, boom, a truck hits us from the side, knocks us off the road. And of all, what a small world, it was our buddy Stoney's granddad. Mm-hmm. I didn't know him that good then, so it was, but long. Yeah, so I've been in a few. Nothing too serious, though. Let's see. We're moving forward. You said the car accident. Would you lie to the courts for a close friend so that they didn't have to go to jail? Depends on what they did. But I mean, if it was something that wasn't like murdering or rape or something terrible, yeah, probably.
I feel a little weird with this one because I'm actually under subpoena right now and you know a little bit about this situation. Some stuff went down in the family, and I'm actually gonna have to take the stand pretty soon. And I'm not saying that I'm gonna lie, but I'm in a weird place where this question couldn't have been asked at a worse time. So I will have to redact myself from this one.
Okay, all right. So it's your turn, going from the court to.
If you could torment one person for an entire day, who would you pick and why?
I mean, what kind of torment are we talking here? Like brutal torment, or just like we could annoy them for a day?
I think we can both think of a mutual person that would be fun to just gas them up all day long. Because usually we don't even try to gas them up; it just happens. You know, it's just one of these people who's just like the least little thing just gets under their skin, and they have to go on a tirade about it.
Right.
If we really like intentionally made a mission to drive them insane for a day,
I think it would be possible.
Oh, dude! I mean, like I said,
like one day is all we would really need.
Yeah, I mean,
but as far as like serious torment, I mean, really, I don't know anyone personally that I want to like actually hurt. I mean, I would love to torment like a child molester. You know, if we're talking like serious torment, like I could torture them. I guess by torment though, she just means annoy the crap out of somebody.
Yeah, that's kind of how I took it. But.
Probably my girlfriend, but I do that every day. So I'm trying to think. Do you know of anybody else that you would like to torment? Your girlfriend?
Like I said, man, I stick to someone we mutually know that would be pretty fun. I guess I can't go into specifics. My pal Lucian, man, we used to like just rib him all day long growing up, man, and that's why he's a big ball of rage right now. Just a big ball of rage.
What if he pulls the Rick? One day he's going to snap and beat the shit out of you, and while he's beating you up, he's going to do like the Rick line from Shane, like, "You did this, not me."
I don't think I'm going to be the one that gets the brunt.
No, you're
it.
nicer to him than it might be me because I'm not mean to him, but when I see him, I definitely don't answer. I just don't acknowledge most of the time when he speaks. But I mean, sometimes he just says some, I don't mind the guy. I don't not like him. I don't know him that well. So like when he's conversating in the comic shop or whatever, he probably thinks I'm just an arrogant prick because I don't really say anything. But it's just like,
yeah, my
he's going to beat me up and just be like, "You did this." He's going to take out all of his rage from the horrible things that y'all have done to him on my face.
Years ago, he exploded on my my friend Josiah. You know, this was before Josiah was in the Army and a badass. He just like tackled him just full on and slammed him down on the concrete floor of my basement and just started kicking the shit out of him with the steel-toe boots.
Oh, wow.
That was something to watch, man. That was a little scary.
Did you break it up?
No.
JP doesn't really like conflict, so I imagine you probably weren't the first one to jump in there. And
nobody really
them.
had to jump in. It just kind of like
fizzled out.
And Josiah was laughing. I mean, I'm sure it hurt him, but
See, I've been that type too, man. I've been like boxing or kickboxing, whatever, and somebody is quite frankly kicking the shit out of me, but I'm mocking them and laughing just to get in their head so they don't think they are. And in my head, I'm thinking, please work. Because I've had one guy I was boxing with in it was a friendly boxing match. It wasn't any like animosity, but I'm kind of trash. He would hit, and I was pretty good at guarding my face, but the problem was he was getting in some good body shots, and anyone that's done any kind of boxing or kickboxing knows that while everyone goes for the face, you can deal a great deal of damage to the body. I mean, all it takes is one good hit to the body to completely take the breath out of your lungs.
Right.
So, he's landing these body shots, and because I'm going for his face, because I heard he had a weak chin, so I'm just going for a quick, knock him down, and basically doing everything I had been trained not to do in martial arts. And every time he landed the body shot, I would talk crap. But I'm thinking, dude, I'm going to be so bruised. And I was. I ended up, I guess I technically won because I landed more shots. But this dude, I was trying to act like it wasn't hurting. But, if he's listening all these years later, that hurt.
Yeah.
You hit hard. But if you could pick one age to be for the rest of your life, what age would you be? 24.
Yeah, I'm somewhere in that range. I'm trying to think of like where my hair loss was at that time. That has a lot to do with it.
I was going to say 23, but Blink-182 taught us one thing. It's that nobody likes you when you're 23. So I'm going to go up 1 year and say 24. Actually, you know what? No. You know my favorite place in the world is what?
Ocean Lakes.
You have to be 25 years old minimum to rent a condo from there. They don't, want teenagers renting and stuff. So, you know what? I would say 24, but I'm going to bump it up 1 year, 25, so that I can rent a condo from Ocean Lakes. They will let you rent one if you have like a wife and a kid at like 21, 22. But basically, you got to like show that you have a family and it's just y'all. 24 or 25, because I feel like you're young enough to still do stupid stuff, but you're old enough to have a little bit better view of the world.
I think I go with 21 actually.
I just feel like that's I want to be a little bit more. I don't know. 21's fun, but I just don't feel like
you're basically like taking your brain out of your head right now and putting it in that body, right?
What's the age that smoking weed stops affecting your brain? Like it messes with your development.
I think it's actually like 25 or something.
See, I'm good at 25. I'm chilling at 25. I
might
can
be
smoke
wrong.
weed. I can rent a condo from Ocean Lakes. Maybe sometimes do both. Just playing Ocean Lakes. I wouldn't do drugs there. Please don't ever not let me come.
No, of course. I honestly, your brain develops till about you're 27. I think is what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
It's something like
it's something
that,
about your cognitive development,
right?
That goes until you're 25, and if you smoke weed, too much weed before. Right. And I know people like that. I think we've talked about that on the podcast. I know people who they're very slow in speech and action and reaction. And they were humongous stoners in high school. I'm talking like we all smoked weed and we enjoyed it. But like these people lived it. They smoked it before school. Sometimes they would smoke it during school. They would smoke it after school. All weekend they stayed high. And you can see the effect as an adult,
The kind of people who have to kind of like move their lips when they read and kind of read it out.
I know a guy that straight up, he responds slow. Like I could just be like, JP, what's that? And whereas you now would be like, huh? His response would be, JP, what is that? Huh? What? Like, I'm not exaggerating.
Right,
like, it's bad. Like, dude, I don't know if a doctor could do anything. You need to switch drugs, man. Something to speed you up a little bit.
All right. Next, I think it's my turn. I think
it is.
What is the longest you have gone without sleep? Do you enjoy napping? I used to work I used to be here like 7 a.m. And then, there were days where I would work from here and then the grocery store. I'd be going from like 7 a.m. to like 11:30, 12 o'clock, that night. So there were some long days like that. Other than that, I drove from where we live up to New Hampshire straight up, no sleep. And that was definitely over a 12-hour drive. That might have been like a 15-hour drive. And then there's my forays into crystal meth. Those were definitely some sleepless.
You've never done crystal meth?
No, of course not.
I know I've been 24 hours without sleep. When Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 came out, my buddy, it was funny because we played it at my buddy James's sister's house, and we played that, and I remember I stayed up all night playing, and my buddy Cameron went home, went to bed, and me and my friend James stayed up playing, and then we cut on a movie to go to sleep. And by this point, it was already like 8 in the morning, and we had started, at this point, it was over 24 hours. Mm-hmm. And, it was, I don't know, man. It was, I know that I laid down, and I hadn't even got to close my eyes, and I heard Cameron knock. Well, no, at this point, it wasn't quite 24 hours. I'm sorry. Cameron knocks on the window, and is like, brought breakfast. Keep in mind, he had been there playing with us, went home, went to bed, come back, and I still hadn't went to sleep. He's got breakfast, and he's like, hey, man, you want to jump on and play some Call of Duty? And that's how we ended up staying. Sorry. So, yeah, it might have been like 17 hours at the point where we were going to bed. Then Cameron came, and we played it all the way until the next night. So, I didn't crash. I probably was headed towards 30-something, close to 40 hours of no sleep. It was
probably a lot of Monster energy drinks involved.
Not a healthy time. Like, thank God I really was like in my very early 20s. You know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause I don't know my body couldn't handle that now.
Yeah.
And I'm probably in better shape now than I was then. But
telling you, man,
I don't think my body
crystal
can handle
meth, dude. It keeps you sharp. Sometimes you feel like your eyes are actually gonna roll back into your eye
JP's never done
sockets
crystal
and kinda
meth. Don't
drop
listen to
down
JP.
your
Number one,
skull.
don't do crystal meth. Number two, JP's never done crystal meth, so don't do it on his recommendation.
Well, I'm just saying, you know.
All right. Did you ask that question, didn't you? Yeah, you asked.
Yes, so now it's time for you.
Still from Brienne, what's the sickest you've ever been? JP, what's the sickest you've ever been? Mine sounds like I'm lying or trying to be extreme, but I have witnesses. I have video, damn it. Not of the diagnosis, but I mean, my girlfriend at the time's friend was filming, and I mean, I just looked like a corpse laying on the bed. Yeah, it was. When you hear it, you're going to think I'm full of shit, but it's the truth.
Well, you're not going to tell me?
I was going to let you go first.
Oh, okay. I mean, I've never had a serious illness. I mean, I had a testicular varicosis I had to have operated on, and I don't guess that counts as an illness, but I mean, my sack was like heavy. It was, I mean, think about carrying 10 pounds in your sack, and it hurts all the time.
I do every day, dog.
Well, brother, you're a better man than me. I had to have that shit cut out, dude. I was not feeling good.
Big balls.
So, yeah, well, it's just an inflammation of the veins that connect to my left testicle, and they were just swollen and inflamed. And, yeah, I had to get that stuff, which they actually cut into your lower abdomen and kind of like tie off the veins so the blood circulation reduces.
Why is that making my testicles hurt? Why is hearing you talk about that make my testicles hurt?
But I mean, that's probably the worst off I've ever been. Like I said, it's not an illness, but it's definitely a medical condition I had to have corrected. I mean, imagine like just your balls like in a mouse trap all of a sudden just clamped down and just constant pain and pressure. It sucks.
Right.
Other than that, just a really awful alcohol poisoning related like hangovers. But yeah, that was the worst for me, man. You go.
I one time, and I might, so I'm pretty close on these. I might get one or two mixed up with something else, but this is the gist of it. Mm-hmm. I had bronchitis, strep throat, the flu, and pneumonia, and my right eardrum busted due to one of those infections all at one time.
How does that even happen?
I don't know, because God hated me. I was 16 years old, and I'll never forget, it was a Valentine's Day. I mean, it was like I'm 16, and my dad had to carry me into like the emergency room. Like it was bad. Like they had to get my grandma's van and throw me in the van. I mean, it was. I've never been that type of person. Like I don't go to the doctor often. When I get sick, I don't need people to come pick me up and carry me. I'm one of those, like, if I'm sick, just let me wrap up in a blanket, drink some Gatorade, eat some chicken noodle soup, and leave me alone, and I'll be fine in a few days.
Right.
But it was to the point I felt like death. And the pneumonia one, I'm not 100% sure on, but I'm pretty sure I did. It might have been like I didn't have the flu, I had pneumonia, or I didn't have pneumonia, I had the flu, but pretty sure I had both.
Right.
I mean, it was ridiculous. Like the doctor was trying to crack jokes, and I mean, of course, I won't finding them funny because I was barely conscious. But he was like, "Oh my!" Like they ran the test or whatever, and he's like, "This is unbelievable. I've never seen one person have all of these things at one time." And we're trying to figure out where all of these things could have hit at once. Like what happened? Because some are caused by, I guess, the flu's like a virus, but I mean, other things. It was weird, man. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but yeah, that was the sickest. And like I said, that sounds outrageous. Some people are like, no way, that's bullshit. I'm like, dude, I have witnesses. You can ask my mom. She might not know, like myself, 100% what each thing was, but there were like 4 or 5 things, and then my right eardrum had busted.
Dude, I mean, 100 years ago, that probably would have killed you.
So if it wasn't for, even modern times, man, I had a fever that was out of this world.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when they took me to the doctor, I'm like wrapped in blankets. Like my dad was like, you're going to the doctor. Mm-hmm. So it was, you're right. I mean, 100 years ago, that would have been a death sentence. And today, if not for getting to the emergency room, it probably would have been a death sentence.
Right.
Like 2 or 3 days later, it was Valentine's Day, and I went to my girlfriend's house because it was like our first Valentine's Day. And I mean, like our mutual friend Jessie was videotaping. She had a video camera, and we were all hanging out at my girlfriend's room. It was a group of us. And I mean, I'm on the bed, and I look dead. Like I look like a dead body. I just was that. I mean, I'm still wearing my big American Eagle like ski jacket that everybody wore back then for whatever reason, even though none of us went skiing that much. I had that like wrapped around me. I was under the blankets. Like, it was bad. Ew. But yeah, that's the sickest I've ever been. Hopefully I'll never. I had the stomach flu just a week or two ago.
Yeah.
I haven't had that
stomach bug. Yeah,
I haven't had that since before I was a teenager. I haven't had a stomach bug like where you were throwing up or whatever,
right,
like that in a very long time.
Yeah,
it was
man,
rough.
I guess now, like having a kid, you're susceptible to those like little kid germs that you don't have like an immunity to anymore.
That's true.
I hear about that with new parents.
That's true. Thank God I got it out of my system, though. If it would have hit me while I was at the beach, that would be just torture.
Just wait till she like goes to school and spraying home, sicknesses from other kids and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Brienne asks, "Are you a germaphobe or a complete opposite?"
It just depends. There's certain things I'm germophobic about, but there are times where, like, if I'll drop like an M&M on the ground, I'll pick it up, blow it off, and eat it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have like germaphobe notions, but at the end of the day, I do realize that we have an immune system and it works for a reason. And if you're not, in contact with germs and stuff, it's not going to, stay boned up. So.
I'm weird, man. Like, if I'm not starving to death, I have a hard time eating at strangers' houses. Mm-hmm. Like, if you invited me to your mom's, and they had a full spread, it'd be no offense to you guys. Like, you could be the cleanest people on planet Earth, but if I don't know you, and here's something weird. I don't like to drink milk from anyone else's house.
Because they drank out the jug.
Well, I don't even know if it's that. I just don't like drinking milk at anyone else's house. I don't really like dairy from anybody else's house. I'm trying to think. There are other things that, like, if I go to someone else's house, I don't. If it's not wrapped, pretty much, it's weird, man. I mean, like, if I was starving, I'll do what I got to do. But, in that regard, yeah, I'm kind of a germaphobe. But when it comes to little things, like having to wash my hands 100 times a day and all of that.
Right, I don't do that. But I know you talk, I guess a few times a month, you guys will go to your couple friend like Bradley's house to eat and stuff. Are you like close enough to them to where it doesn't really mess with you?
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, I still would probably drink like milk. It's weird. I don't want to drink the milk, though. I know sometimes it's used. But like, we just went over there for dinner.
Just drink the milk, Justin.
Just drink the milk.
You know you want it.
Oh yeah, drink that milk. Yeah. I don't know. No, because she made this wonderful like chicken casserole thing. It was really, really good, and I ate that no problem. So, yeah, I guess I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, I guess once I get close enough to you, it doesn't bother me. But I ate a tombstone pizza at your house, so that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see. Speaking of love triangles, like The Walking Dead currently has, have you ever been in one yourself, JP?
I mean, I've never been like in a relationship. I've never been like relationshiping with two people at once. I mean, I've definitely been, screwing around with more than one person at a time, but it was never in the confines of a serious relationship, So I don't know if that counts or whatever, but I guess since love is in the equation, I'd say no, because I've never like been fooling around with, I love this person, I really care about this person, blah blah blah. But I mean, there's definitely, you had a good single spell. There's times when you're just messing around with this one and that.
Oh,
one
yeah.
and
I used to. Yeah, my mom used to be like, "I don't like you being single. You've been single for like a couple years." I'm like, "Mom, this is by choice.
Yeah,
trust me. If I wanted to settle down and have a wife and some kids, that wouldn't be that big of a problem." I'm enjoying being. Sometimes I feel like if you've been in a long relationship, the best remedy for that is to be single for a while, get to know yourself. Yeah. I've been in situations where someone that I cared very deeply about was messing with me, but also I knew she was also dating another guy. But the reason why I won't quite call it a triangle is because we weren't really like, me and that guy weren't friends per se. Like, we were friendly if we saw each other, but, which actually there was one point where I was dealing with him in some regards. So I guess, I have been in a love triangle.
Now, I guess I was thinking of a guy with two girls. I guess a love triangle can be like
a girl that's playing two guys.
Yeah. So
I mean, I've never been like, if you're thinking like the player with a girl, now like you, yes, when I was single, I've definitely been in the situation where like I was messing with this girl, but then I started kind of messing with this girl who was that girl's friend and whatever. I mean, I've been an asshole before, but no, I mean, I've been, as far as love, like where your heart's in it and, it's like Shane and Rick, you're about ready to kill a SOB over it. I could think of like one time where, like I said, she was still fooling around with me, but she was also dating this other guy, and going back and forth, and it was, it was a rough time.
By that definition, I've been in a love triangle. Like she was.
It's weird when you say it out loud, right? You never think about it till something like this.
Because she was still like with her boyfriend, and still cared about him a lot, but was super unhappy.
We're talking about your current situation.
No.
Right?
This was before that. This was before that. She pretty much like hated the guy she was with by the time that.
Right. That's true. Like, your situation. Like she hated that dude.
Right. She was ready to be done.
Yeah.
With
this
him.
one you said still cared about the guy.
Yeah. Like she was just trapped in a relationship she wasn't happy with anymore, and we were like working together and just got really involved.
I know who this is.
Yeah, and we never even hooked up. It was the one time where it was strictly like an exchange of emotions, man. Like
you cared about that girl a lot.
Yeah, I did.
You really did.
I've got a 4-page letter she wrote me just saying, I made her feel a way no one else ever had, but she wanted to do the right thing by him, the right thing by me.
She went
right
with the safe.
her.
Yeah, she kind of played it safe, wouldn't you say?
Right, and then she ended up, when she did leave him, just kind of like thoughting around for a good while, and I never got a piece, and I was pretty heartbroken for a while.
Around.
And then she ended up with just when she found out that paying her own bills kind of sucks, she ended up back with the old boyfriend. But that being said, I was in a weird place. I did get a little. I was acting a little weird and crazy when I, out of jealousy and stuff. And
we do that, man. I've been there. I consider myself a pretty sane person, and now as an adult, I try to be more mature about things and not controlling. But like my high school girlfriend, man. I mean, seriously, if there was one thing I could say to her face to face, it'd be, sorry, I was so jealous. Like, as an adult now who's had, several girlfriends since, been in different relationships, the things I used to get upset and jealous or mad at or worried about in high school are things that I don't give a second thought to now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
If you don't have a dude that's calling you every day, odds are I'm not really going to get jealous. So, we've all been through that. We kind of grow up. Some men don't get over it, and they grow up to be like wife beaters and assholes because they can't let the jealousy thing grow. But those of us that do mature and grow, we look back on the old us, and that's just kind of a growing thing. I feel like everybody gets somebody they get crazy jealous over.
Yeah, man. And at the time, I still looked pretty good. I still had a decent amount of hair and stuff. I was very charismatic, but I was like 7 years older than her. So I should have been smarter going in and just got that butt and pieced out, but I didn't. So anyway, thank you for bringing that up, Brienne. Now I'm super depressed.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, we love you, Brienne. We love you. I guess Heidi is my next question. She starts by saying, JP, I'm also double jointed. Well, welcome to the club, Heidi, which I guess you've been double jointed longer than me. But anyway, here's her question for us. I was thinking some imaginary situations again. Someone from The Walking Dead is tracking you, and there will be a battle if you'll stay alive for long enough. Who is the one person you don't want it to be? I'm choosing Carol. I've always thought she's the most dangerous character of them all. One moment you can see a sweet lady, and suddenly there's a silent arsonist ninja killer who will make you look at the flowers and will throw a match to burn your ass while she's walking away smiling. Heidi makes a good point.
I'm not really. The way I imagine this, they're tracking you and they're coming for a head-to-head battle, right?
Yeah.
Because Carol is dangerous, but Carol's more dangerous, not so much that she's a great fighter or anything. She's just good at being deceitful. She's kind of like a snake. She'll slither right on in there. And you watch how a snake hunts. A lot of times they get very close to their prey. Their prey's just chilling, thinking, oh, who's this long fella trying to hang out, and then bam, they're in its mouth and it's swallowing them whole. It's kind of how Carol is. She'll slither her way in there and you're thinking she's harmless, and then you wake up to her knife in your throat. But if they're tracking me, I would be more scared of like Daryl, number one, because he's such a good tracker. He probably would be on your ass in a heartbeat.
You wouldn't even know it.
And then, he can be stealthy. We know Daryl can throw down. He hung in there with Beta, so Daryl can throw the fisticuffs. But he also is a good shot on top of that. Carol, I could see being a threat, but I would say if it was one person I could say I do not want tracking me, it would be Daryl.
Yeah, Daryl would suck. I don't know how his tracking abilities are, man, but Beta is just like Michael Myers, man.
Dude, when he came running through that wall, that was one of it. That, man, oh my God, I love season 9. But like that scene was so great because I had just been playing Resident Evil 2 as well. So that had a very Mr. X vibe to it, which if you play that, you know what I'm talking about. He's this big hulking thing that follows you around the game and busts through walls and will F your S up if he gets close enough. Right. I just love, like you heard the running. It was, again, that's why I say they focus on not necessarily scaring you, but having that kind of horror sense of dread with season 9 that I hope they carry into season 10. Because remember, you could hear the he was running.
Yeah.
And like Daryl looking around, you didn't know where it was coming from, but you knew he was on the way. Then boom, right through the wall. God, that's still one of the best fight scenes in The Walking Dead. It was so good. But yeah, so I'm saying Daryl's who I do not want tracking and coming after me. Are you saying Beta?
Beta, I think Merle would suck too because he's got. I would think he's got the same tracking ability as Daryl, but like less of a moral compass. You know.
You're right, and he's a good shot even with one arm. So Daryl might be worse. I mean, you're right, Merle. Which Daryl's become a lot colder here recently, though.
Yeah, that's true. Like it all depends on what like time frame in the show you're talking about.
Like, of course, Daryl won't kill one of his friends. I mean, he's very protective over those he cares about that are in his little circle. But I mean, if you're an enemy. Whereas he would have had some reservation. I mean, like remember back in the prison with Rick in season 3, where they find the inmates, you know, and Rick wants to cast him out, and Daryl doesn't want to kill him. You know, Daryl's just like, we cast him out. They take their chances on the road like we did. But he gave him that whole speech about I could be in there just as easy as any one of those guys. Whereas now I feel like if they were in that situation, Daryl probably wouldn't have as big a problem just capping them and being like, all right, threats eliminated.
Yeah, man. You know what? I'm going to change my answer. I'm going to go with the crazy lady from the second half of season 4 of Fear the Walking Dead. Just because she would be so annoying, I might just kill myself. You know?
That's her superpower. It's not that she kills you. She annoys you to the point that you take your own life.
Or Logan, just because he would bore me to death.
Logan would just show up and be like, let me help you the right way.
Yeah,
that actually ain't how Logan talked, but
still,
that'd be Morgan. Morgan tracking you would be delightful. He'd probably cuddle you.
Right. I mean,
Morgan would just show up and be like, I'm here to help.
Yeah.
You probably want Strand tracking you if you had to pick one you do want.
He can track my
JP,
body.
I'm here to cuddle you and to be your friend.
Yeah. Just, JP, I'm here to take you down.
Then you'd have Ezekiel following him. Oh, Strand, back to the Barn of Pleasures with you. What are you doing? Oh, bring your friend. Oh, stop.
Oh, God, I would go along
Jerry,
very happily.
Allow me to mount you. Take me back to the Barn of Pleasures. Jerry's like, okay, dude, roar. And he just kind of run in on all fours with King Ezekiel. Strand's like, come on, JP. We need to go to the Barn of Pleasures.
Oh, man. If only. My wildest dream.
One can fantasize, right?
One day we're going to make a Walking Dead porn parody, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. We're going to have to spend some more time in the gym just to, so it doesn't look so bad.
Oh, man. Yeah, we've already made like an hour's worth of Walking Dead fan fiction erotica, homoerotica on top of that. Why don't girls get plowed in any of our scenarios? I mean, why isn't Carol in there like, Ezekiel?
Yeah.
Carol, I enjoyed it. I enjoy pleasure. Well, what it started with was talking about Strand. Strand's gay, and I think that's how it turned into a homoerotic Barn of Pleasures. But be rest assured, there are plenty of women in the Barn of Pleasures having just as good a time. Carol's in there getting hers. Rosita with her grumpy ass. Maggie's in there pissing everybody off. You've got Magna's in there with Yumika. You've got Connie's in there. Daryl's kind of flip-flopping. Like we had King Ezekiel seduce Daryl, but, he's kind of flip-flopping. Connie's getting hers as well. Gosh, what other females are still there on the show? We lost Tara and we lost Enid. I would definitely love to see them in the Barn of Pleasures.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are women in there getting there. So rest assured, while it may be funny that it's homoerotic, there's females in there getting theirs too.
Basically, the Patreon money is going to go to producing our Walking Dead porn parody.
Rosita's in there. Just go ahead and hurry up.
Yeah.
Father Gabriel's in there creeping the shit out of everybody.
Yeah. Ugh.
Look into my eye. look into my hazy eye.
Yeah.
Rosita. Aaron's in there probably having fun.
Yeah.
With his, he's got the fist attachments. So, I mean,
I'm
you get
sure
with Aaron, you're getting wild.
Yeah, I'm sure there's many different
Negan's in there
attachments.
seeing that, he's got the little spiked ball, walks in. Negan's just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh, Lord.
Rip my asshole out with that thing. All right. Let's see. Corey Andros doesn't have a question, more of a statement. Yeah. The same thing for your next one, too. But Corey says, Green Lantern's underrated as, I don't know if he means the movie or the character, and he says, Ryan Reynolds is a perfect Hal Jordan. I think so, too. I mean, I've just never been that big into Green Lantern, so I didn't hate the movie the way that people did. I just didn't really get into it. But I definitely think if they were, and I mean, from my little bit, I mean, keep in mind, I don't read much Green Lantern, so I mean, I don't know as much about the characters like JP does. But I mean, I know, at least in modern iterations, he's kind of got a sassy mouth. He's kind of silly. He's kind of the Ryan Reynolds of the group. So I do think Ryan Reynolds would be a good Green Lantern.
Yeah, man. I've been reading Green Lantern comics for years. There's been a couple times when I've dropped off, but yeah, it's always been one of my favorites. I kind of think of Riggs from Lethal Weapon, only in space. He's a space cop. So yeah, I like it. But yeah, you're right. Eternal Wreck, our old friend, old pal, old buddy JP. I've heard of those wine bottles. Talking about the Walking Dead wine bottles we were talking about. I came across them on the web. I burped. I really want to try some pretty soon. I forgot to mention it, but the Walking Dead whiskey is going to be called Spirits of the Apocalypse. And
do we know when that comes out? Did he say on the last one?
You have to do some. I don't think so. You have to do some
I really
research,
would like
man.
to get something to take to the beach because, man, I'm going to be on vacation too. How awesome would it be to drink that while watching the premiere of The Walking Dead?
Yeah,
because
dude.
we're going to podcast about that afterwards too. So we will still have our Monday podcast. I would love to figure out a way Sunday to go live.
Yeah,
because we said we were last Sunday, but then we had some things come up. I would love to this Sunday. I mean, because The Walking Dead's our bread and butter, much more than Fear the Walking Dead is. I mean, we started with The Walking Dead,
Yeah,
so there was
that's
one
why
to go
everyone's
live for. So maybe we can connect via Google. If anybody knows anything about that, let us know. Like, could JP and I join together on Google Hangouts and you guys be able to tune in? Like, how does it? Or Facebook. I know Facebook Live, you can have somebody join in with you. You could go Facebook Live on the podcast, and I could just go from like my personal or something.
Dude, Walking Dead whiskey is already available. You can buy it for $40 online.
But you can't buy it at the ABC store?
I've never seen it. Our ABC stores don't get that cool stuff. Like I was trying to get, it was a bottle of Jack with Frank Sinatra on the label, and I wanted it so bad, but they never got it.
That, yeah.
But no, I mean, we can look. I don't know that they would or not.
If they do, I will buy some to take to the beach, and I will be sipping it as we watch the premiere. I'm going to be watching.
Just save the bottle, man.
Yeah, for sure.
God, the bottle really looks cool, dude. It's got some great graphics.
Let me see it. You got it.
Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
I love Kentucky whiskey. Let me see what you got. You got a picture of it up?
Yeah.
But yeah, so Sunday is going to be interesting. We got to figure that out. Tomorrow's Friday. I mean, you and I are parting ways for the week after Friday. Oh, man.
Yeah, how cool is that?
Dude, yeah, we're going to go check the ABC store because if they've got them, I'm going to buy two. One to not open, one to take to the beach.
Oh, yeah, dude. You got to save one and let it age. And then maybe when finally the series finale
show
comes,
ends, we'll crack it open. That's genius.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. On the front, you've got like the skull with the, like Carl. There's a cowboy hat with a skull and like his eyes bandaged.
Yeah.
You've got one that's kind of got a King Ezekiel thing going with all the hair coming out. The angel wings like Daryl uses. I'd have to look a little bit further into it. That is super. Yeah, dude. I want it.
Yeah.
If nothing else, if I can't get it for the beach, I'm definitely going to order it, but I would love to.
Yeah, dude.
All right, last question of the day. Well, at least that we know of. JP, I'm going to ask this one. Would you mind looking on other videos to make sure we don't have questions?
I will indeed.
All right, Kim Younger says, what would the adult version of an ice cream truck sell and what song would it play? Hope you guys have a great weekend. We hope you do too as well, Kim. Thank you as always, and to everyone else for asking questions and keeping this podcast alive. I feel like it would sell weed.
I would love that. I would love for it to just be like a mobile brothel. Like, have you seen Bang Bus on like Pornhub and stuff?
Yeah.
I'd be down with that. Just BJ's and butt stuff, and just A nice van of pleasure.
No, I imagine, in all seriousness, I mean, the weed thing's funny, and it like would ride around instead of the ice cream song. You hear the Chronic by Dr. Dre playing.
They probably already have them out in California.
But honestly, like an alcohol truck would be great. Like it rides around with whiskeys and vodkas. Like you can have your face. It's like a mobile bartender type deal. It parks on your street. You can go up the street and it stays there for maybe 30 minutes, an hour. It gives you time to have a cocktail or two. And like it has the pictures too. You know how you have like the ice cream pictures of like the different popsicles and stuff? Yeah. This one has different like drinks on it. So like you can see like a Jamaican lizard has like the red, black, yellow, green colors, and then blue motorcycles. That's what I would like. A nice cocktail wagon. What would we call that? Would that cocktail wagon? Cocktail car? I'm saying cock a lot because I figured it would get you silly. And you
well,
just don't
speaking of which, Jeep 1 week ago says, well, it's official, JP is into black dudes. What can I say?
You've discovered his secret,
they're beautiful
Jeep.
creatures. I don't know if we did we bring this up last mail call? I know Eternal Wreck said what he just said, if y'all heard about the Walking Dead whiskey.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
So we did.
Yeah. Not looking at last week's mail call. I'm talking about look at other videos.
No, I've looked at other videos.
Okay.
I couldn't remember if I was thinking maybe someone else had commented on that. I was hoping the Trump brain parasite would really stir the pot, man. Just talking about the wall and the end of the world and burn down the Amazon, but people aren't that worried about it. Apparently,
that one didn't get that many views, did it?
Yeah, it really did. It got a few comments from some of our regulars, but yeah, 169 views, man. Trump versus brain parasite.
Meanwhile, you talk about Trump being a time traveler, and that gets thousands of views.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I guess that's going to wrap up mail call this week. So don't forget to leave your mail call question in the comment section of this video, and you can also leave it on other videos, but it's just more of a guarantee that we'll see it on this one. Don't forget, you can also send them. Actually, no. You know what? No. I think Derek Patterson, maybe.
I think he messaged.
Somebody sent us some on Facebook. I was about to be a huge hypocrite. I was about to say, you can send us your questions on Facebook. Yeah, and meanwhile, someone did, and we're not answering it. So let me get that pulled up real quick, and we will answer his questions. But yeah, you can also send them to our Facebook. You can email us, podcastingdeadpodcast@gmail.com. Lots of different ways you can reach out. But yeah, have your questions. Remember, if people quit asking questions, the mail call will just go to like maybe a once a month thing. So keep asking those questions to keep it going. Let's see. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Did you ask a question on Patreon about like what they want or whatever?
I don't remember.
He says I forgot to answer the Patreon merch question.
Let me.
Cheap for me works great. Pop socket, which we talked about this on the podcast.
Yeah, we talked
too.
about. I don't think I've put it on the Patreon though.
Pop sockets, bandana, even a keychain. Keychains are something cool we didn't think about because the thing is, you give them like a koozie. That's cool, but they got to remember to take it. They can only usually use it when they're drinking.
I never even use a koozie.
I do. Now, see, I use koozies all the time. My whole group of friends does. When we go to the beach, everybody brings like koozies.
Right.
So you don't, but I do. I think the main things that I would like myself, I would love to see is pop sockets, keychain, and stickers. I think are what people will get the most use out of. People will put stickers on their guitar cases.
Definitely
they'll put it on their laptop. They'll put it on whatever. Keychains. I don't really care for keychains, but if it looked rad enough, I would throw that. Like if I had a dope Joe Rogan one, I'd put that on my keychain.
Yeah.
Keychains, you want something that people will get use out of. They'll take with them, you know, like a bandana. I love the bandana, and we definitely should get some made, but I just don't know that I would get a ton made at first. Yeah. You don't know. They might need to be hiking or working out when they wear it. It's not something people wear every day.
The main thing's the T-shirts. We definitely got to get a
T-shirts, keychains, stickers, and pop sockets.
I want hats.
Focus.
That might have to wait a little while because hats are going to be a little on the pricey side.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I do want a hat.
Yes, so I'm really hoping that we'll have, and you know, we're going to be decked out in this stuff too. I'll have a podcasting dead pop socket, keychain on my key. I'll be wearing the shirt. You know, represent. Hopefully, you will do the same.
I'm not going to go for the pop socket, but everything else.
You don't like pop sockets?
You know, I had one for a while, but just with this phone, I'm not. I don't really feel a need for it.
I had. You
don't have one on your new phone.
I can't.
Do you?
I can't see how it's raised. I did put. Remember, I put one on there the week ago.
I forgot.
And it
rip.
Yeah, and the grip feels good. It's the crossroads, man. Like, it feels so good in my hand that I really don't want to get rid of it, but I do like it when I'm trying to watch like Netflix or something. So
Right.
there are times when the pop socket would be nice. If we have a podcasting dead pop socket, I'm putting it on there because anytime I pull up my phone, that's promoting. So.
Yeah, man.
He goes on to say, here's a question or two for mail call. What is the most pain you've ever felt? I ask because I'm off work passing a kidney stone at the moment. Effing good times. The most pain that you've ever felt, what would you say?
I had like severe burning in my urination a while back. I got it settled, nothing serious, but it was awful. That was about as bad as I've ever got. Again, my testicle pain from the testicular varicoses, that was really bad too. But other than that, man, I mean, getting my wisdom teeth out was no picnic. But no, it definitely has to do with my junk, my burning urination and my testicular varicoses.
I mean, being honest, I could try to come up with something funny because JP's over there talking like testicles. So,
this is all true.
You're being truthful. No. I know you're being truthful, but what I'm saying is that's a funny answer. Meanwhile, mine has no comedy to it. I can't really think of anything funny with pain. I've been kicked in the balls. That really hurts.
Yeah.
I've never done kidney stones, but I do have one thing, and I don't know what it is. I've always thought it was heartburn or acid reflux, but the thing is, it'll hurt on both sides of my chest. It'll make my spine hurt. Like all up and down my back, and it hurts. That never really gets in my throat. It's always right here. Whatever that is, sometimes I've thought for a while it might be like gallstones or something.
Damn,
I don't think it's. I don't know that. I've never had kidney stones. I've never passed one that I know of because I've never had the pain in my penis. But
it's really weird.
But I think it might be. My buddy Josh said it sounds like gallstones, but it doesn't happen all the time, and it's not really triggered by like spicy foods per se. It just And I mean, like, what's weird is when I drink something, it gets worse. But like it'll hurt all the way up to my eardrum that it burst. But like it hurts my right side of my chest. Like it's right there at the heart, but then it kind of goes over to the right a little bit too. And then all of a sudden it'll like make my back hurt. It just makes me kind of like contort. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like when I have it, I like my body wants to like close in on itself. And really the only thing that stops it is getting up and walking around. If I'm laying down or sitting down, it's unbearable.
Much like myself, man. It's time for a checkup, dude. I've
had that since I was 16. I remember the first time it happened, I was like 16 at the bowling alley, and I was like, is this what heartburn is? This sucks. But I mean, as I've gotten older, it's only gotten the worst it's ever been was I remember pulling up to my buddy's house, and he wasn't there. I was living with him at the time, so I pulled up to his house and was getting off work, and I remember getting out of the car, and it was so bad, like it straight up brought me to my knees. Like I thought I was dying. It gets to the point where like you even have trouble breathing because,
yikes,
I don't know what it is. Anybody in the medical field knows? Let me know. That's probably the most painful thing I ever experienced.
Yeah.
And it used to be odd. I used to get it whenever we drive to Lynchburg. Like just when I'd get on that road, 501, man, for some reason it would just hit. My second question is for Justin. Playoff baseball is here. My Cubs didn't make the playoffs, but that doesn't mean I won't watch. Last night's game was amazing. What's your World Series prediction? I say Houston, F the Yankees versus the Dodgers, with LA finally winning one. Man, you know what, dude? I'm probably going to go with you, but you know what? I don't know, man. I might say the Yankees versus the Dodgers. I hate the Yankees. I truly do. My whole family loves the Yankees. So honestly, I would love to see the Yankees get beat by the Dodgers just as a FU to my family. My best pal, James, is a big Yankees fan. And, I told him last week he came over and had a beer with me and we were chatting. And I was like, can you believe like Monday is it for Red Sox season? Like that's pretty much it.
Right. It's over.
Like, we did terrible this year considering we won the World Series last year. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm definitely not a fair weather fan, but when the Red Sox, I would say I definitely watched way more games than I didn't watch this season, or at least kept up with them because I have this app that, like, if I'm not able to watch the game, like if I'm at like my girlfriend's nephew's ball game or I'm at a buddy's house, like it'll send me notifications like every time a run scores, or pitchers changed, or it gives me like post every 3 innings. It gives me like an update who's done what. But this season, man, it just was not a good season to be a Red Sox fan. I'm going to, just for fun, man, which getting ready for the beach, I hadn't really been able to watch much this week. But I'd like to see my buddy Brad, who you were just talking about, is a big Dodgers fan. So imagine how awkward it was when we played the Dodgers, in the World Series.
Yeah.
And of course he was getting mad. He's like, "Oh yeah, what?" I'm like, "Dude," but I was like, "Dude, what's bad is I like the Dodgers. If the Dodgers were not playing the Red Sox for the World Series, I would be pulling for the Dodgers. I like the Dodgers. Yeah. So you know what? I would love to see the Dodgers beat the Yankees. To be honest with you,
yeah, it always weirds me out when people get so like personally offended when like their team loses. It's I know it's fun to keep up with, but it's something you have no control over. You know, why get so angry?
Yeah, well, last year when they were playing the Dodgers in the World Series, like I said, my buddy wasn't. He was getting mad, but it was not like a fighting, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
unless you got money on the game.
Right.
For me, you know, I don't watch any sports, but I'm going to go with the Yankees because I love Larry David's rendition of George Steinbrenner in Seinfeld. You know, George Costanza worked for the Yankees, so yeah, that's what I'm going to go with.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Either yours or but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
World Series is coming up, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, in the last 2 days, I haven't, and I don't even know if anything's changed or not because I haven't. The last two, how's my schedule been? Monday I got off, and what did we have to do? Monday I got off and had to go somewhere. Didn't get home until late. Tuesday, we took our daughter to the fair for the first time, and we stayed there until like 10 o'clock, so I didn't get to check Sports Center or anything. Yesterday, my mom hadn't seen my daughter in over a week, so she's like, I really want to see her. Will you bring her over? So I took her over there pretty much as soon as I got off work, stayed until late, got home, and didn't do much, went to bed. So you know what? If nothing's changed, I would say, Yankees and the Dodgers would be awesome because I would love to see the Dodgers whoop the Yankees, but if not, I'll go with you and say Houston versus the Dodgers. In which case, I'll be pulling for the Dodgers. That's my question to you, man. Who will you be pulling for? Would you be? Well, no, you do say with LA finally winning one, so maybe you would be pulling for LA. Thanks for the question, man. I love baseball-related questions. We don't get them that much here on the podcast.
Nope. Our sports intel is pretty much one-sided. I know nothing about it. So if there's ever a podcasting dead sports show, I doubt I will be involved.
JP. Or if you are, you'll just be the guy in the corner getting high the whole time, like throwing out speculation on things we say.
Well, I said the only connection I have to the Yankees is from Seinfeld, so that's the only reason I would pull for them.
You played T-ball, though, right? Or played Little League or something?
I played Little League, and I played some rec league soccer and 1 year of varsity soccer, but that I didn't really play. I just kind of hung out.
Wait, varsity? You played for the school?
Yeah, man, but it was the soccer program was so fledgling, there were no cuts. Everybody got on the team.
See, and I just imagined being in a school like that. I mean, my graduating class was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. I mean, we in my county, we take all of the different towns
right.
and put them all in one high school, whereas you guys have how many? 3, 4 high schools here?
There's a lot, yeah.
You got several, so you guys are divided up, whereas we were all shoved in there together. So, I mean, soccer team. I think football team was the only one where I remember they said that, because I didn't play football much, but I remember them saying, pretty much everybody made football because they can always use backups.
Right, yeah. With
soccer,
nothing
else, use you for practice.
With soccer, they were just, I think, happy to have enough people sign up and want to play.
To actually be in the league, yeah. But yeah, let us know your questions, Derek, my friend. Thank you so much, as always, for sending those. Please send any more that you got. And that's the same thing for you, the other listeners. Send us any questions you got. Again, it can be Walking Dead related. It can be about the Bond of Pleasures, if you want to know the inner workings of how that place works. It can be about personal stuff, whatever.
Yeah, and don't forget, I got 99-cent dick pics. They're for sale. They're tasteful. So, yeah.
I was trying to make a Jay-Z joke with the 99 problems, but a dick ain't one. Hit me. But I couldn't really make it work the way I want it. I got 99 cents and a dick I want. Hit me. I don't know.
I think it works.
That work?
Yeah.
And I'm singing that from the perspective of someone who would want one of JP's dick pics. I got 99 cents and a dick I want. Hit me. Maybe somebody will send you that. They'll snap you. I got 99 cents. And your dick I want. Your dick I want. There you go. That's what they would say to you when they try to ask you to send them the dick pic.
That works.
I got 99 cents and your dick I want. Hit me.
That works. Oh, excuse me.
Do you remember when Jay-Z did the collaboration with Linkin Park?
I don't remember that.
I remember going to FYE just to buy that CD. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for us. If you want to follow us on social media, being this is the last podcast of the week, the next time I talk to you guys, I will be in Myrtle Beach. Jeep, I will be down your way. I will be at Ocean Lakes with a stiff bourbon in my hand and just living the good life. So JP and I are going to figure out how to, but we will podcast Monday. I promise you. I'm taking my laptop and I will be doing the YouTube side of it from the beach. JP will be handling like the SoundCloud, the iTunes, stuff like that. I'll probably be via Google Hangouts or something, so I don't know if my quality will be that great, but I will be there. But if you want to follow me or hang out with me, I will be doing some periscoping from the beach. I will be doing some Snapchatting, and that periscoping will be pretty intimate. You'll be hanging out with me while I'm having a drink and chilling with some friends, riding around beachfront. So feel free to follow me on Periscope, Instagram, or Snapchat, or Twitter. It's all the same name, just I'm Justin Lloyd. All lowercase, 2 L's in Lloyd, and no spaces or anything. Just I'm Justin Lloyd. JP, where can they stalk you at?
J_Radsaw on Instagram and Snapchat, JPSLIM on Periscope, and who knows, I might do some little mini videos and just throw on our channel for shits and giggles. Who knows?
Wait, on our YouTube?
Why not? Yeah.
Do you even know how to do that, though?
It can't be that hard.
You got to know what playlist to put them in. I'm getting ready to rearrange our playlist. I'm going to put Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking. For some reason, it's limited how many playlists I can have on the home page. So I'm going to put Fear the Walking Dead by episode and Walking Dead by episode in the same playlist. I'm going to put the paranormal and the conspiracy into one list and relabel it Weird Wednesday. I'm going to be rearranging everything. So you got to, maybe I'll make a playlist where you can put videos. Maybe I'll do the same. But, and also Derek Patterson, let me say, man, thank you so much for asking me a question. I feel like I don't have hardly any questions directed towards me. So most of the time they're asking JP about his sexual preferences. So I thank you so much for asking me a question. That made my day.
I just prefer getting off, man.
I know you do.
However,
and that's
wherever,
okay.
whenever.
No, not wherever. I've told you, you're not doing it here at the studio. Not again.
I'm not.
You remember the Christmas party 2000 and what was that, 17? We're not doing that again. I'm not cleaning up after that again. I refuse. I've told you your employment depends on it. Be glad you live in a place that allowed you to continue working after such a big
It's
ordeal.
all biodegradable, man.
It's
you don't
not.
even have to clean it up.
It can clog stuff up.
No.
Yes, it can. Anyways, we'll catch you Monday at the very latest. Make sure, again, hang out with me on Periscope. I don't Periscope much, so I'm excited to have a reason to use Periscope. Like I said, the beach, hiking, things like that, I will start using it a lot more. But, yeah, until then, I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And we're the Podcasting Dead.
Yeah. What's happening?
The way I sit now where my laptop is, I have to wheel my chair way too far to stop the recording.
Oh.
So, yeah. Bye.